We think about key Southeast Asian countries. I'm moving very fast because I'm cognizant of the fact that I'm running out of time. I also don't have that much to say. But I'll just say, if we look at some key Southeast Asian countries very quickly, that China deals with over a long period of time. We think about sort of both mainland Southeast Asia and maritime Southeast Asia. These are proximate small powers. They're close to China geographically, they're not on the other side of the world. It's impossible for China to avoid dealing with them completely. It's impossible for them to avoid dealing with China completely. They're also not great powers. None of these countries is going to threaten China in a significant way in security terms. Economic relations are kind of central by definition to both sides. Right? What does China really want from Southeast Asia throughout almost all of its history? It wants economic ties of different kinds. Whether that's mining of 𝗘𝘃𝗲𝗃, once that was discovered in large deposits in what's now Thailand and Myanmar, and some other places across mainland Southeast Asia, or food products, spices, all kinds of different things from Southeast Asia, different types of minerals. Today, oil, gas, minerals, coal, all kinds of products as well from Southeast Asia. Southeast Asian states and polities have also always needed and desired markets in China for selling their exports as well as goods to import from China. Very hard for those countries to escape economic ties with China. It's very hard for China to escape dealing with that economic. Security relations, though, are shaped by a complex set of domestic political factors. And particularly inside Southeast Asian states. I think this is underappreciated. For example, there's been a lot of talk in recent years about how different kinds of development projects have played out in Southeast Asia. Chinese initiated development projects, for example, with regard to canals and railways in places like Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia. Why suddenly the project's on, and suddenly they're off, and then they're back on again? What did you bother to look at the electoral politics of those countries? A different government comes in, they have a different policy stance on this. Right? So in Malaysia, famously, right, UMNO and the Barisan Nasional lost power to Pakatan Harapan. And then suddenly, the new government decided to cancel all of these contracts that had been there for building railways or infrastructure projects. It shouldn't have been a surprise. They said that in their manifesto that they were going to do. And this wasn't something sort of out of the blue. It was a change in government. The domestic political environment shifted. They took a different policy. We see the same thing in Indonesia, same thing in Thailand. But this is often wrapped up with certain general issues. And this is sort of oversimplification. It's an attempt to kind of get at one of the key variables in domestic politics in a generalizable way across Southeast Asia. And some of this has to do with the views of powerful political actors inside Southeast Asian states toward China, but also toward the ethnic Chinese diaspora inside of those states, as many Southeast Asian countries have large diaspora populations. And then also then the presence or absence of what can be credibly portrayed, at least, as pro-China political parties or actors inside of the politics of the Southeast Asian states. So if we have countries, for example, like Laos or Cambodia, where there are credibly pro-China political parties and political actors who actually are in power, right? And the views of other political actors don't really have very strong views that they can articulate about either diaspora politics or China generally in those countries. China has very positive security relations with those states, for the most part. If we look at a country that has a very different picture, let's say the Philippines or Indonesia, where certain political groups that are out of favor in domestic politics have been painted in a way that is credible for domestic political consumption as being pro-China. And there are very fraught and angry attitudes in many cases of other powerful actors in opposition to the diaspora community, right, or the overseas Chinese communities in those countries. Amounting to basically bigoted or biased attitudes in many cases, violent attitudes. That then makes it very difficult for China to have positive security relationships with those countries. Not only at moments like the 1960s in Indonesia or the 1980s in the Philippines, but throughout all of the history of those states. Right? It makes it very difficult.